Of the issues we'll be touching on tonight. There's the money issue, then there's also responsibility. And of course, my panelists, I think I'll start with the couple that we have with us. Lillian and Joseph are with us because Lillian is the breadwinner in the home right now. I can quickly start by asking how that came to be. Joseph, maybe tell us.
Thank you, Janet, and the viewers. My name is Joseph Onyango Kubaras, if you heard. Back then in the year 2008, I was working as a customer care manager down in Nakuru. At a point in time, that is in April, my former employer laid me off.
Okay.
And at this particular point, my wife Lillian was the one, or rather, I was the one taking care of all the bills and other basic needs of the family.
All right.
So at that particular point, she had to take up.
Lillian took over. So before then, you were the only breadwinner in the family.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so Lillian, you weren't working at the time.
I was working.
You were working, but he was
taking care of everything.
All right. Then tell us about the shift. The moment he got laid off, and you said that was in 2008, and today you're still unemployed.
Yes.
How did that affect you? Now that the responsibility was on you, how did that make you feel?
Well, at first I was very much scared.
Okay.
Because I was not used to this big budget, because he used to take care of everything. But after communication between me and him, we had to make adjustments here and there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been a few years now.
Yeah.
What have been some of the most difficult moments in you taking on the burden, so to speak, as a woman in the home? What would you say have been some of the challenges?
Some of the challenges were financial, especially with the school fees for the kids. Since, okay, when he was working, they were going to private schools. So now I had to move them to public schools. And also we had to move from the big house to a smaller house.
Okay.
I also had to move nearer to my workplace so that I don't have to use fare.
So a lot of adjustments.
Yeah, there were a lot of adjustments.
Eric, I'll come to you in just a moment. And for you, Joseph, it must have also been, obviously it's a huge blow. First you lose your job, and then now your wife is burdening the responsibility. What was that like for you? Would you wake up sometimes and feel like it's a shame? Would you feel weaker sometimes? How did it make you feel?
I didn't take it as so. Because my wife Lillian has been very supportive, and she really encouraged me at that particular point, and up to this particular point, so to speak. And I have never taken it as well, it's a challenge, but with her support, I've kept on going.
Okay.
Yes.
That's very encouraging to hear. Eric, I'll bring you in now. Eric is motivational speaker and author, also a career and family expert, and that's why he's here tonight. We've seen in the feature that it's mixed. We'll even see later in some of the sound bites from people across the counties, some men saying they would never let a woman look after them. They believe the man is the head of the home. Women saying the same thing, they wouldn't do that. Are you seeing this as a worrying emerging trend? A lot more women heading the home. Their case is different, but have you seen this a lot more?
I think it's something that is happening and will happen even more.
It will happen more.
It will happen much more because of the changing times. I think this is an issue of change. If my great-great-grandfather woke up and found me making a cup of tea in the kitchen, he would die again. I mean, he wouldn't expect it to happen. But times have changed.
Okay.
If he found me and my wife running our finances together while he owned all the goats in his time, he wouldn't understand. So times have changed.
So how have you seen people adapt to it? From your experience as a career mentor and family mentor, what have the dynamics been like?
Of course, the men are more sort of resist because they had the advantageous position of being the distributor. But most men are coming around and seeing that, it's a level playing ground, and it could be the woman earning more, it could be the man, but more important, it's ours. It's no longer mine, my wife's and my money, or my wife and my money. It's ours.
But still, a lot of people have their own. Some people have their own accounts, which they don't really share with each other. What do you think is the danger with that, if there is a danger?
I think there is a huge danger.
Is there?
How can you keep a separate account if you are one? Why can't you have a joint I have a joint accounts with my wife in everything. She doesn't have to do anything with it. She can do anything if she wishes, but she's an equal partner. And that way then, there is no suspicion in the family. One doesn't have to worry about, unless of course you have a careless wife or careless husband. And we are not dealing with that here.
Okay, yeah, we're not. Have you at times found yourself asking Lillian for money for one reason or another?
Well, yes, on several occasions, yes. And she has been, to me, she has given me wherever and whenever I ask her if she's in a position. If she doesn't, she tells me that, well, today I'm not in a position. And I take it with all humility that it deserves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. First, yes, but
at first it was not easy for him. You know, men and the ego. It wasn't very easy for him.
Did you encourage him to?
I encouraged him. I used to talk to him sometimes when he's down, and here we are. Yeah, it's the communication.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. A little bit of feedback before we go and look at some sound bites of what people across the country have to say about the changing roles, so to speak, of men and women. On Twitter, we have at Kiama Liz saying, "I'm proud of Lillian, golden heart, communication and understanding. To all women, yes, we can." So that's Lillian obviously appreciating you supporting Joseph. Sharon Buyanzi says, "Openness, yes. Joint investments, absolutely yes. Joint personal account, no thank you." So that's what she's saying. And then we also have someone here saying, "I empowered and intelligent woman creates a stable home." I'll quickly read some text maybe before we move on to, okay, let's look at what's on Twitter. It's 50-50 shared. It's all about respect and responsibility. And then at Nafis Novik says, "Women are just doing what they're supposed to do. There is nothing special about that." Talking about if they are contributing. In Islam, the man is the provider. What the woman earns is hers for keeps. Okay. In any family, what is important is the man and woman support one another in the family roles. And very quickly, SMSs before we go to the Vox Pops. Emily from Combewa says, "I'm earning more than my husband, but anytime we're not on good terms, he says that it's because of the job that I got and that I don't respect him because I don't have a child with him. He wants to even take control of my money." And then we also have Mary from Buruburu saying, "Men have just turned to be irresponsible. My husband works at a popular media house as a printer who earns 4 times my salary, and what he does is only to pay 6K for rent, and that's all. I'm forced to feed my child and take care of all the other responsibilities." Finally, M from Nairobi says, "My husband sleeps the whole day in my house, drinks like there's no tomorrow, doesn't even pay school fees for our only child. Please explain." Okay, so opinions are literally just divided right down the middle. On the one hand, people supporting the man and woman coming together. On the other hand, a lot of people speaking out against it. Let's take a look at what people across the counties in Kenya had to say about this.
Kwa hiyo mjadala wa kusaidia mzee kama hayuko akiwa jobless, mimi naweza msaidia, lakini nawe ako na bidii. Kama ni mzee mlezi yenyewe hapo siwezi msaidia, lakini kama ni mzee tunakuwa naye anakuwa na bidii na ni kweli kazi imeisha, mimi nitamsaidia.
When they got married, they became one. Therefore, even in finances, they should be one.
Both of them wake up early in the morning, go search for money. Wherever they have, wherever they have, they had attained it together. So I think it's important they share their wealth together.
Your spouse needs to know what you are earning, and also he needs to know how you are spending, and he needs to know what you are doing or what you are planning.
It depends on how much I earn, and it depends on how my wife or fiancé earn. Because if it comes to sharing with the amount, it must be, we must sit down as a couple, which I don't think most women can do that.
Kama mwanaume ni mgonjwa, tuseme bwanako ni mgonjwa, naweza kumsaidia, lakini hiyo ni responsibility ya mwanaume.
God created man as the head of the family, and therefore every man should take care of their family. Even when the ladies are working, that is their money to pamper themselves.
You are supposed to provide for your family, and if you fail to provide as a family, as the family head man, then you are failing in a way or the other.
Mimi kama mwanaume inafaa niwajibike ili nijikakamue nihakikishe ya kwamba kila mahitaji yote ya nyumba nimekamilisha kama mimi mwanaume.
All right, so those are different views once again. Back to my panel. Maybe Joseph, I should start with you. You've heard all those different views. You and Lillian have managed to work. Your marriage takes a lot of communication. You've managed to agree on all the terms. But listening to some of what they're saying, it's the man's responsibility. He needs to figure it out. What do you think about that?
Indeed, it's a man's responsibility, as the viewers are saying. But remember, I heard somebody mention that when we married, we became one thing. And that means that whatever she gets and whatever I get, when we put together, we should be able to budget and plan our future based on what we have as in collectively.
Okay.
And therefore, in life, at any given point, when one is down, you're supposed to be the one to raise him up and support him morally and spiritually.
Okay.
And that's exactly what we've been doing.
Question for both of you. What have your friends, your family have had to say about your situation? Are they supportive? Were some of them doubtful? What did they say, Lillian?
They were supportive, especially my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your mom said...
Can I ask a question? How do you support his mother, or how do you support your mother or your parents when you want to give money to his parent or to your parent? He has no money. How do you support
My mom understands. When he used to have money, we used to give her kidogo.
Oh, so now she understands.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his mother, his parents?
Even his parents, they understand the situation at the moment.
Okay.
When we used to give them something small. But especially my mom has been a role model in my life. Yeah. She's been encouraging me and telling me, Joseph is still a young guy. He'll still get another job. And whatever you have, Lillian, just share it.
Wow.
You'll get more.
Your friends, what have your friends had to say? Like for
on
you,
my side,
on your side.
When I lost my job, I lost even my friends up to this particular point. But as Lillian says, we've had a very, very good support from both parents, especially my father, who works in Kampala, and my mother, who is just a housewife. She's been even sending food down from home to come and for us to be able to support ourselves on. And indeed, our parents have been very instrumental in support of our marriage and our situation currently.
All right, but
yes.
some of the friends, you lost some friends because of the situation.
Yes, exactly.
And it's taken quite a lot of time to find work. Have you tried in Nakuru and in Nairobi? What has your job search been like over the last few years?
Well, during the time, since the time I lost the job up to this particular point, I've been sending out my CVs, and the recent incident is when I applied for a job for a general manager in a certain company down in Nakuru, and I was surprised to be told that I'm overqualified for that position. Yet it was a general manager, and looking at the qualifications, or rather looking at the job description, it fall within my experience and my education.
Yeah.
So there's some of the issues, or rather, that comes up every time and again whenever I send CVs out.
All right.
Yes.
Have your children asked any questions? Did you say your firstborn is 12?
Yeah.
Did they maybe at that time they were very young, but right now do they even understand what's happening with the two of you, that you are the one who's essentially taking care of the family? Do they know that? Do they understand that?
They understand, because sometimes when they ask for something which I cannot provide, I'll ask her to wait and give me some time. Yeah, or sometimes I'll ask the dad to talk to her.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're more understanding.
They are.
All right.
Yes.
I know you had a question to ask them about the money.
It all comes around to what you've just asked.
Right.
I think the best way to deal with that matter is, you have the money, your daughter wants the money, give it to him to give to the daughter. It's our money.
Exactly.
Because that's the way, so that you affirm him
Yeah, that
in this relationship, that daddy is still able to provide, because this idea of 50-50 doesn't work. It's 100%.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people say, it's your 50 and my 50. We are not sharing anything. It's our money. Let it be in the pot. If you want to give his parents money, or her parents money, give him to give to your mother.
That's what we
That's what you do.
Exactly
That's exactly
what I
what
do.
Yes.
That's interesting because a lot of people are saying, I'm not going to share my money, especially women from what I've seen.
And you will not even notice that it's
Yes.
from me.
Yes.
Yeah,
It goes through him.
it's
Yes.
important for
Yes,
them to
yes.
see that.
Yes.
Why do you think women, or even some men, are so averse to sharing money?
I think the problem is that they quote too many examples that are extreme. There's somebody here who said that the man sleeps and drinks and the whole day he's asleep. We are not talking about that here. That man should not be there. He should be out of the way. We are talking about responsible people. But where there are extreme cases, one can see. But we dwell too much on the extreme. Model families should learn the way this couple is talking about.
Right. And yet we still see a lot of examples of so to speak, irresponsibility. And maybe even you can comment on this. The concern is that some men, some women obviously, but we're now focusing on the men, are quite relaxed, quite comfortable with the women bringing home the bread and butter. Why do we seem to be seeing a lot more of that, where the men are like, it's fine, I don't really need to go out there and look for a job? Why is that happening?
I think it is not the norm. I think it's just something that has turned also because of the social dynamics. Men, because of where they started, by the way, are being overtaken by women because they still think they are men. And I acknowledge there are responsibilities for men that will never, never be given up to women. She will not change a bulb in the house if he's there. Neither will he go to do their responsibilities. But the men have sort of many of them, when they see the women come up, have sort of said, oh, it's okay, you know, after all. And that's what is killing it. I mean, a lot of alcoholism with the men take it like they want to live in the old style, but in the modern style, the woman is earning the money.
Okay, we're really running out of time, but I want to ask you, what's your advice then for a couple that finds themselves in that situation on how to adapt to it? Sort of, I know Lillian and Joseph have worked out their own personal way of doing it, but how would you advise that to happen?
I think it's openness, and they should come around the table and agree that this is ours. There is no 50% of yours and 50 of mine. It's 100% us. Let's agree how we are going to manage this. And if a man is irresponsible totally, so be it. Even when women are irresponsible, so be it. You've got to part ways and tell him, you know, we can't do it like this. And women must be harder on the men, because many women also want to protect the ego of their men who are irresponsible. But because you just want to be seen with a man, then you protect them. He's drunk and disorderly and irresponsible. We need to be firm.
All right, very quickly, the two of you, obviously a great example in terms of trying to work through it. What is your message to women who find themselves in your position before we go to your message to men who find themselves in your position? Lillian.
For women who find themselves in my position, I'd advise them to take over, just as I've done. Yeah.
Okay.
Because if they are kids, they are ours. If there's anything that is there, it is ours. Mine is okay. What makes me live on is about the hope. I hope for tomorrow. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm living, and I'm sure one fine day Joseph is going to get a job. And when he was there, he used to do everything. And he's a hard-working guy. That keeps me going.
All right, thanks, Lillian. Joseph?
To men out there, I've drawn a lot of willpower from Lillian, and she has really supported me both spiritually and mentally. And therefore, I would advise all men to work together as a team. It's all through teamwork that you can be able to succeed. You can be able to achieve your objectives in life, just the way we've been doing with Lillian. And I believe God will open ways for me and for her to prosper in life. Yes.
Thank you both so much for coming. All the best, Joseph, in finding a job. I believe you will. Lillian, thank you for showing us that side of being supportive. Of course, Eric, thank you so much for your advice.